Hi, my name's Hunter. I'm an online English teacher with 51 Talk. Today I'd like to explain to you a bit about the process of applying to work for 51 Talk, as well as how to prepare for and pass your initial interview. So if you're watching this video, you have likely either already scheduled your interview with 51 Talk, or you're still considering applying to work with 51 Talk. If you've not yet scheduled your interview or registered with 51 Talk, then I'd like to invite you to go ahead and apply through my referral link located in the description below this video. You'll receive fast and efficient service, and it will help me out as well if you could use this referral link, so it's a win-win for both of us. So, once you've created an account with 51 Talk, you will first need to pass an initial interview. In the interview, you'll first be asked some basic questions about your background, such as whether or not you have any teaching experience, if you have experience with kids, if you have experience as an English as a second language teacher, things of this nature. Don't worry if this doesn't apply directly to you. Any relevant experience you have working with kids is certainly valid. The goal of the initial interview will be to conduct a sample lesson, so if you can successfully do this, then you should be fine. In the lesson demonstration, your interviewer will ask you to pretend as though they were a child, and it will be your job to teach to them exactly as though they were an English language learner. Now this can certainly be a bit intimidating at first. In my case, I was definitely a bit nervous and anticipated that it would be a lot more awkward than it actually was. So just try to relax, have fun, and you should be fine. So prior to your interview, you will be sent a sample lesson plan. You will conduct the interview via Zoom, which is an app similar to Skype, and you will be able to share your screen with the interviewer during the sample lesson so that you can both follow along with the lesson plan, just like you would if it were a real lesson. So my first piece of advice to you in preparing for your interview is to look carefully through the sample lesson plan and to be prepared. You don't have to memorize every line, but you should have a good sense of the structure of the lesson so that you're not surprised and fumbling trying to think of what to say. In the lesson, there will be instructions on each slide for how you should be teaching the lesson, but of course it's best if you don't have to stop each time to read these instructions. It's more fluid if you already know what you're supposed to be doing ahead of time. So my second tip, which is maybe a little bit less obvious, is to use some sort of a prop when you're teaching the lesson. In my sample lesson, the theme was facial features, so teaching the students the words for eyes, nose, mouth, ears, etc. Is a lot easier if you have a prop. So you can just use whatever you have available, a doll or a stuffed animal. In my case, this sufficed. And using something like this makes it more fun and engaging for the student as well. You can point to the facial features and say the word and then have the student repeat after you, and then you can go on to just pointing at the facial features and having the student try to remember the words on their own. And if the student is up for it, you can even go on to constructing some simple sentences such as, this is my nose, these are my ears, things of that nature. But that's something you have to gauge a bit based on the ability of the student, or in this case, based on the ability that your interviewer is showing you. So, throughout the sample lesson, the interviewer is going to be looking for candidates who are engaging and fun for young students, and using a prop is one way to certainly achieve this. So this brings me to my third point, and that is to remember who your audience is when you are conducting the interview. It can definitely feel a bit silly to treat your interviewer as though they were a child, but remember this is their job. They do it every day, so no need to feel awkward about it. When you're teaching to a young child, it's important that they're having fun and that they're enjoying the lesson. So in your sample lesson, you want to make sure that you keep a light environment, that you're very complimentary every time the student answers a question correctly, and that you're encouraging and patient when they make a mistake. But it is important that you do try to help them to correct their mistakes. When you're conducting your sample lesson, your interviewer will likely intentionally make some small mistakes, some grammatical mistakes or mistakes with pronunciation. So it's important that you can listen for these mistakes and help correct them in a positive way. The interviewers with 51 Talk want to make sure that you're able to help a student improve in their English, and so it's important that you're able to recognize when they make a mistake. So remembering that you will be teaching primarily to young children who are just starting out brings me to my fourth and probably most important tip, and that is to speak really, really slowly. Speak really slowly, really clearly, and try to use a lot of hand signals and gestures as well. Um, you need to remember that your student is someone who's just beginning to learn English. So it's really important that you can speak slowly and clearly, and that you can use gestures to help them understand the points you're trying to make. No matter how slowly you think you're speaking, you probably need to slow it down even more. So you can use hand signals as well to help get points across. You can say things like, watch me. You can say things like, you speak, good job, excellent, thumbs up, things of that nature. Again, just remember to be really positive and encouraging during the lesson. There's no need to feel silly or awkward. Interviewers are used to doing these lessons, so just relax and you'll be fine. So lastly, we'll come to the setup and materials that you need. Um, you need an internet connection that's stable, most likely if it's fast enough to speak with someone on Skype without any lagging problems, then it should probably be good enough to work with 5.1 Talk as well. You need good bright lighting as well as a clean background. A blank wall like this one behind me is probably best. They ask that you wear business casual clothes and have a neat appearance. Basically, this means wearing a polo shirt. Ideally, they'd like you to wear a yellow polo shirt. Yellow is the company color. So if you have a yellow polo shirt, that may give you some bonus points in your interview, but it's not something that they enforce. I didn't have one during my sample interview, and it wasn't a problem. And finally, they'll ask that you have a headset, just like this one, with a microphone. This is something they will definitely require. I did actually do my initial interview just with earbuds, but before I could move on, I did need to purchase this headset so that I could teach with them. Doesn't have to be a big investment. I think this headset cost around $12 or so at Best Buy. So if you're serious about teaching with 5.1 Talk, then I would highly recommend that you pick one of these up prior to your initial interview. So that's really it. If you follow these tips, I think you should be fine and have no problem passing your initial interview. Again, just remember to be patient, speak very slowly during your sample lesson, and try to have fun. Just relax, and I hope these tips help you. If you have gotten something out of this lesson and you've not yet registered with 5.1 Talk, again, it would be really helpful if you could register using my referral link in the comments below. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions about the application process or what it's like to be a teacher with 5.1 Talk or how to prepare your interview, then please go ahead and leave me a comment and I'll do my best to answer any questions you may have. All right, thanks.